Doesn't look too spiffy there. That. That looks better. Yep. Well, Brian, my daughter, who just moved to Colorado Springs, is probably happy. Um, Radio check. You got the audio and video reception doing all right? Oh. All righty, Brian. Well, let's see. Tonight, we have a number of topics here. First of all, Eva's just feeling a little bit under the weather. And so I'm running this in case, she decides she doesn't want to finish it up. She can just lay down or whatever. But she's doing all right at the moment. Her son lives in Boston and is he on his way yet?
He has not said he's on his way yet, but he probably will be shortly.
He's going to be trying to get to work shortly. This could be interesting. He's got to, how far is that? About 40 miles?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got to make it about 40 miles from his residence to downtown Boston to get to work. This may get interesting. As you may know, they've got the record-setting kind of blizzard going on there right now. And so all non-essential travel has been banned. He is, on the other hand, essential travel. He's management of the Massachusetts Bay Transit Authority. He works in management there, and they need their management people when the...
he's in the directorate. That's better than management.
Whatever. It's not the people on the line, little one. So anyhow, he's got to be there because they're having a problem right now. Hi, Gene. And because of their weird rules over there, he was perfectly happy with the concept of heading in yesterday afternoon when the roads were clear and just hanging out at the office for 3 days if necessary. But apparently that's not allowed. So anyhow, he's trying to make his way to work in the middle of the biggest blizzard in several decades. So we'll see how that works. He's got a Kia, which is not the ideal vehicle to be trying to plow through big snow with. So we'll see what happens. This may or may not work out. But that's what Eva's focusing on right now, and understandably so. Let's see. Already got that part done. Now, little warning. If things happen, I may very well get a... no, it's two-wheel drive. Just a little Kia... What is it?
Soul.
A Kia Soul. Two-wheel drive. Anyhow, could very easily be getting a call from Nicaragua at any time to work on the second batch of resin we're trying to strip. And we will see how that one goes. The first one did not go so well for a couple of known reasons and possibly unknown reasons that we will find out once. With this batch, we deal with the known reasons. Okay, you take care, honey bunny. Take it easy. Pneumonia, that's not good. Yeah, it's front wheel drive. You take care of yourself, honey bunny. So anyhow, the process at this point is reaction for 2 hours with hydrogen peroxide, transferred to a small ball mill, ball milled, dumped into a cement mixer, add lime and Eco Gold X, agitate for a couple of days, throw in some max water resin, run it for several hours, throw in some more max water resin, run it for the rest of an approximately 12-hour period. Basically, they'll do it one afternoon, get it running, and then come back the next morning and it's ready to pull the resin out. Yeah, I prefer four-wheel drive and tall ground clearance in these conditions too. But you drive what you got. It's a nice little car, 99% of the time. Anyhow, so that was the basic thing. And theoretically, they had followed my instructions on the previous part. And they had used I believe it was 80 mesh screen, dumped the slurry through that, rinsed everything thoroughly, and put it in a container and brought it to the house to do the stripping. Now, one of the reasons they did that was because at the house, they have cell phone reception and they can actually show me what's going on using the little iPad device here. So, as I say, he may very well call up and it will be on this. And we can actually kind of see what's going on. We'll see what happens. They're not even getting to the smelting part yet, Brian. Hi, Mr. Lodak. So we set up the stripping circuit and got the chemistry put in there. And then he started, it was heating and stirring and stuff. Then he noticed that the stirring didn't seem to be working anymore. The, what do you call it? The resin bed just wasn't moving like it was before. Therefore, he went and we took the electrolytic cell off and set it on the spare beaker. Took a big spoon and was trying to find the stirrers. What's going on? And so when he found it, it was just covered in magnetics. I mean, it was now more of a sphere instead of a stirring bar. And so he took it out, and apparently we get a significant amount of tramp iron from the bashing of the metal balls there. And after a bit of effort and everything, getting all the magnetics out, they were little flakes of steel. And they were big enough that they got caught on the screen, but weren't terribly visible in the resin. However, there was quite a lot.
Ryan is on the road.
About half a cup, something like that. And this was only 3/4 of a kilogram of resin, too, 1.5 pounds. And so we got that out of the way. It was stirring fine. And he continued to run it. And in the morning, he noticed that on the perimeter and the bottom of the beaker, which was the reaction chamber, basically, which sits on the hot plate, has the resin and the solution, and basically that's where the stripping occurs, and then the solution is sent through the electrolytic cell for recovery. Well, on the bottom, on the outside edge, you could see what appeared to be a series of lightly colored solid particles. And so looking at that going, what the heck are those? What is going on here? To make a long story short, when the electrolytic cell itself, which ran for a lot with absolutely no supervision at all. Hi, David. Was not plating the same colored deposits that I'm used to seeing. But on the other hand, my ore is radically different. Their ore has a lot more silver in it. And therefore, I presume these dark colored deposits were due to the silver. Instead of plating gold, you're plating, electrum. But impossible to tell at that time. Once they tore the stripping circuit apart, one of the things I noticed was there didn't seem to be nearly the amount of deposits that I expected to see. They were running a little close to 2 cartridges worth of resin. And I would have expected to see more deposits than that. But when he was dumping the beaker with the resin in it, he also noticed that these weird silver particles, we're calling them the mystery material at this point, tended to stay in the beaker. So he decanted things and kind of saved that and put it in another container. No, they were solid. They were solid particles. They weren't. They were not liquid at all. And anyhow, so they were obviously dense. Okay, these were seriously dense particles. Okay, and so it's easy to pan the residual resin and stuff away from them. And we retained that mystery material. At the same time, we started settling and concentrating the debris from the electrolytic cell. And yesterday, we were doing nitric acid digestion of the mystery material. And as I recall, the electrolytic debris also. Yeah, that can happen, Michael. Anyhow, he reports, and I can't see because he doesn't have a microscope that's a quality digital type microscope that he can send me a good picture through a cell phone link, basically. I'm sure the iPad has sufficient resolution, but the picture coming through wasn't abundantly clear. According to him, the mystery material looked to all the world like just sulfides, the standard sulfides. The shapes he described and everything were sulfides. He said, and also has little gold flecks all over it. Our assumption at this point, after the various tests we've done, is that they are indeed sulfides. And that in this first test batch, they didn't do a very good job of grinding. We are pretty confident of that assumption from the fact there were actual detectable little pebbles in there and stuff. You see that's a rock fragment, like this big. That's not supposed to be there. It's supposed to be 100 mesh minus. And so we believe that they just didn't do a good job grinding, first of all, and that caused a problem. So in looking up the chemistry of such things, it turns out that iron pyrite breaks down thiourea rapidly, you know? And so we got a situation where the thiourea was probably breaking down really quick before it really did its job. Plus, we may have been getting other things dissolving because it's a sulfuric acid thiourea mix in the stripping circuit. So that, I mean, at a pH of 1, just the sulfuric acid is going to be dissolving stuff. So everything kind of got totally screwed up. Now, remediation here. First thing is he found a friend who had an old speaker that was in not good shape. Hey, Sarah. And removed the magnet from it, put it in a Ziploc bag, threw it in the cement mixer in the second batch. Bring it out. It's like covered with magnetics. Did it again until it had very few magnetics on it. Okay. Also, in this batch, once he has screened out the resin particles, he is then going to pan them, because the resin particles compared to rock are extremely light. They're like a specific gravity of 1.1, and therefore very easy to wash off of almost anything. So we intend to make sure that there's no more magnetics, no pyrite, no more, rock particles of any significant size. Should be very easy to do in terms of just panning the resin off of anything of any density at all. Okay. Well, we have to be careful about a number of other things, Michael, but we don't want the sulfides. They're not supposed to be there. They're supposed to be somewhere else at this point. So I say we're just going to do a pan and make sure there's no sulfides left, no magnetics left, and like that. It's just plain, pure resin. And then do the stripping. Now, I hope he calls me before he starts trying to fire up the stripping circuit, because I want to make a fresh batch of stuff. Let me send him a text. Ding, ding. Call history. Okay. Been a busy couple of days too, with all this hoorah in Mexico and the big storm that in there. And call me before setting up the stripper. Another problem down there is they don't have the lab set up yet either. It's under construction, but currently it's they're building it inside a mobile mini, along with a restroom and an office and a storage area. So they well, David, in this case, we don't need to chemically remove the pyrite. It'll stay in the pan while the resin just goes right out. Piece of cake. But anyhow, so say, hopefully we'll be stripping another batch of resin tonight. Hopefully it runs a bit smoother than before. He also has, I say, the sulfide particles, and for all I know, they may have also been precipitating some gold out of the stripping solution. I don't know. I didn't see a whole lot of gold apparently in the electrolytic debris. Okay, will do. But he's also going to take the digested electrolytic debris, the digested midstream material, digested with nitric, and some undigested mystery material to some other guys there. They have torch scorification type setups because they make gold beads and stuff from amalgamation and stuff like that. So they're all set up with that kind of equipment. Right now, Jared doesn't have a functioning furnace at the moment. They got a big, smelting furnace, kind of like the one that what's his name? No. Prospector Tripp just got. It's one of those top line. Mount Baker, he makes his out of KO wool, but basically it's a top loading type furnace where you set the crucible in it. Those are really, really cumbersome for doing small scale smelting and stuff like that. I talked with Lauren. Lauren's very, very busy right now doing what he's doing. But he gave me permission. I'm going to get in touch with Clara, and we'll set up a time to go over to his shop and unbox the furnace he bought. It has showed up, but he hasn't. He's not even going to be in town for who knows how long. So even I'll head on over there and we'll unbox it, take it out, take a look at it, basically plug it in, see if it works. And, we won't actually be able to use it very much, but at least we'll see, okay, this looks perfectly doable. Because, of course, the information on the internet never tells you little details like what kind of plugs does it have on it. It says it's a 110/220 supply. Well, okay, fine. 110/220. How many cycles? And how do you switch from one to the other? What kind of plug does it have on it? Do you have two different plugs? Does it have an adapter? It doesn't say. So plan is to go over there, unbox it, see how it all works. I'll make a video. And if it looks good, I'll tell Jared, yeah, you need to get one of these. Because the one that I've got seems to have been discontinued. The 110 volt Vivor furnace seems to be no longer available. And let me see here. I should be able to go a Vivor smelting furnace. Her son is just calling her. Okay, that's not the one I want. Vivor propane furnaces.
Yay, as long as the highway's not horrible.
Home smelting Vivor 5 kilogram. I've got a lot of them that are designed for the thing. Okay. Let me go 110 volt smelting furnace and see. That's the one I've got, I believe. Let me see. No, that's the new one, I believe. Not sure. Customize heating. Let's see. I really wish. No, I don't want to do that. Quit asking me all kinds of crap.
It's good so far, and as long as
Yeah, 1650 watt.
Did it have snow actually?
This looks like the one I've got. But they were not available. It says it's in stock now. Okay, folks. Apparently the one that I use is back in stock. And it works fine as far as I'm concerned. Who makes that's Vivor. Yeah, it's listed under propane forged furnace. Vivor tabletop kiln melter, 1500 watts. There are two different things. They look like the same one. Let me save this just for a thing. So let's see. How about 220
Yeah, I wondered about that.
volt? Let's see what we got here. Metal melting furnace, 1500 watt. That's the one I've got. Why do they keep? Why does everything keep changing? Yeah, I said 110. I said 220 volts now, not 110. Man, Lauren might have got a good one.
Yeah, good idea.
Apparently, the Vivor 110 volt kiln is available again. Let's see. Well, yeah, Jeremy, but the problem is, how do you do 110 volts then? You know, that's what I'm saying. It's very confusing. So I'm trying to. Well, that's a weird looking thing. The one that I got. Yeah, there's a nice one there.
Well, I'm just glad you didn't lose power. Apparently,
The one that he ordered
does not surprise me.
looked exactly like this Vivor one, except the base of the furnace was a little different. Let's see if I can find.
Yeah, I know. I've been watching.
And that's the one I just got there.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know. Eva's talking to her son right now. He's apparently making it to work.
Yeah, Rhode Island got like 3 feet.
Come on.
Something crazy like that. And in '78, what happened was
I'm not
the
seeing the one
down to a lot of trees and a lot of power
I bought. Isn't that weird?
That had no power for
a month ago, you couldn't find the Vivor 110 volt one. Now I can't find the one I did before. Okay, Michael Woods, you have one that is 110 and 220 volts? Yeah, I understand. But again, then it would need an adapter, you know, because if, or again, they're just saying stuff. It's like, it'll run on 110 volts. Well, yeah, if you wire it directly to the mains properly, sort of thing. The question is it 110 volts? You just plug it in? because you could easily make it with an adapter. So you could say, okay, this is the plug you use for 220 and this is the adapter you use for 110. How's it been working for you, Michael? Mine seems to be working great. I have 0 complaints about it. Okay. I've got one complaint about the operator. He has a tendency to forget to turn the heating elements back on after he changes the set temperature. But yeah, I'm very pleased with that Vivor furnace. Here, let's try this. Let's go 110 volt slash 220 volt melting furnace. And again, we're seeing that same Vivor 110 furnace showing up all over the place. Oh, the best electric melting furnaces of 2026. Ooh, there's a Vivor. Has a Vivor melting furnace sale. So, let's see. There's the... No, I don't like that one. No, I don't like that one. I don't like those round carbon crucible top loading furnaces. Nope, not this boy. Not a fan.
Hopefully this is the last big storm.
Scott and Duncan kilns, huh? Hey, Mr. Virtue. Yeah. So the nice thing about the furnace I got is it's really good for precise control, and things like Q-pelling is awful hard to do with a normal propane furnace because it doesn't have the oxygen in it. I have no idea, Greg. It's just one of those things that, again, the internet is just crazy. I will tell Jared when he calls, though, that, hey, those furnaces appear to be available again. But it's worked very well for me. There's been days I've done 6 fire assays in a single day, where I had to ash the resin, then smelt it, get a button, and then Q-pel it. And I could do that.
Well, that would make the most sense. Burn off the vacation time and the comp time.
And see, the problem with an induction heating is, how do you heat a Q-pel? I said the type of furnace I have seems to work really well for what I'm using it for the quantities and the extreme variety of things I'm trying to do. I'm trying to do anything from ashing resin at 600 degrees centigrade to smelting at 930 to Q-pelling at 875.
Yeah, and if
somebody
if
just sent me a thing.
Acknowledge it, then they have to have a plan in place.
No, it was somebody else.
Whereas if they
so I'm really, and I like the way that the elements are in the walls. They're not sticking out at all. And be a bitch to repair. But it's been working just great. And for, let's say, basically $300, hey, if it lasts a year and then the heating elements go bye-bye, that's not a bad deal.
Yeah.
Well, that's what it's calibrated in. I might be able to switch it somehow to Fahrenheit. I wouldn't be surprised, but unfortunately, it's not in the instructions. So I don't want to mess with it. Oh, I got a set of knobs. Well, actually, 4 knobs for the Excalibur, and got them mounted okay. They work just fine there. They're black. Pretty sure they're aluminum knobs with white lines on them to indicate it, and it works just fine. So that's set up. I mean, it's been freaking cold here the end of last week. It's back up to reasonable temperatures now. But what was it? Thursday? It was like -2. Yeah, it was Thursday because I had a doctor's appointment in the afternoon in Missoula. So I was trying to get some fire assays done in the morning before we left. And I was out there at 6:30 in the morning at -2 degrees. And so I say it was really, really cold. And I can hardly wait till the ground unfreezes so we can go out and try those metal detectors. This is kind of hard to do metal detecting in frozen ground. So I say that's kind of the situation we're in right now. In terms of, we've got this situation down in Central America that's really taking my time. I've spent hours on FaceTime, and it, like, not horribly unexpected. First try didn't work. That's not unusual. Hopefully the issues have all been identified and resolved. Hopefully we don't wind up with, okay, now what sort of crap.
Yeah, I mean, Tim just
but
have a really weird
the Jared says, yeah, he can see gold flecks all over those sulfides. Yeah, James, that's an interesting situation. I don't know how that's going to work out. My brother is only, by way of the road, about 18 miles from the Mexican border. He's on the south side of Yuma, north of, oh God, I'm getting so old here. Something or other, Rio Colorado. Anyhow, San Luis, Rio Colorado. So, he's close enough that who knows? But the whole situation there is taking a little bit of my bandwidth too. But it's let's say I'm just dealing with that situation in Nicaragua, really focusing on that because we really want to get that process refined and get him familiar with it. And then as soon as the new lab is built sufficiently to where he can move all the equipment there, then he can really start going, kind of full steam ahead. Wow. Cool, Greg. So that's the situation there. Trying to think of what else.
That's what I don't get, because they should not.
I'm hearing the conversation in the other room there.
Unless there is something really stupid about the job.
Hey, little one. Little one.
What?
How's the travel for Ryan?
Oh, good Lord. Ryan says the road's pretty good right now.
Well, that's good. Apparently, the road that Ryan's driving, the freeway, I presume, is in pretty good shape. So that's good. Been a little bit worried because they've been a pretty historic cold wave, and blizzards will kill you fast. And it also makes the roads very treacherous, and all the other drivers are just trying to get you. So you have to be very careful. Before I go any further, does anyone else have any questions or subjects they want any input on or want to bring up in any way?
And nobody wants to deal with that.
And did last live stream I tell you the results of the testing? Well, I couldn't have because I didn't get it done until Thursday. Yeah. That redhead or Cerro Gordo, huh? I was over there at Campo in the Laguna Mountains there. Been through the area many a time. But anyhow, I did a situation where trying to figure out what's the best way of administering the resin to the pregnant pulp, basically. So okay, Sarah. I went and took some solution. It makes life simpler. Where I had a liter. I took 3 different batches of solution I had some small stuff for various things, and I just combined them and blended it so I had the same amount, the same solution in 3 different jars, and bottle rolled 4 grams of resin in each one. Now, the way I did it was in one bottle, I put 4 grams of resin and just ran it for 12 hours. In another bottle, I put 1 gram of resin in it at the start, ran it for 3 hours, added 1 gram of resin, ran it for 3 hours, added 1 gram of resin, ran it for 3 hours, and then added 1 gram of resin and ran it to completion at 12 hours. So I had 2 different bottles, both had 4 grams of resin, both total 4 hours, both the same exact solution. Then I took a different one and I put in one, that TV's her son. That's not TV.
So do you think the gym is going to end up getting
that's her son calling in from Boston right now. Let me see if I can get this angled a little different. But anyhow, can you turn down the sound a little one?
I can't hear you, Bear.
I know. Can you turn the sound down? They can hear you over here.
Okay.
Anyhow, let's use it with.
Is that somebody that you guys can work with? Uh-oh.
I have no idea, Greg. It would depend on the resin, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, her son's driving to work in Boston right now in a blizzard. But anyhow, so the third bottle, I put in 1 gram of resin, and after 3 hours removed it, put in another gram of resin. 3 hours later, removed it, and like that. Therefore, bottle 1 just got a certain amount of resin, and as it loaded, it was going to stabilize wherever it wanted to stabilize. The bottle, the other one, it was always fresh resin. Every 3 hours there was another batch of fresh resin, and that was the only thing to absorb stuff. And the other one kept getting fresh resin every 3 hours, but the old stuff continued to stay there to recover gold. And that was the one that did significantly better. About 15% higher recovery, same time, same amount of resin. My theory on this is, as the 4-gram one batch only system loaded the resin became less able to recover gold at lower concentrations in solution. And because of that, it basically reached an equilibrium. Okay. And so by putting the fresh resin in, but yeah, it was about 15% better recovery. And due to the fact that I knocked over the crucible, which spilled a little of it out on the desktop, it was at least 15%. It might have been as high as 20-25% better. I don't know. But I say I lost some and it still did better. So that's the plan, is to just figure out how much resin you need and put it in a series of additions. But you also wind up with the practical considerations of how to do it in reality. When are people there? It'd be nice to be putting it in at midnight, but does anyone want to be there at midnight to put it in? Some of these tests, if I got to babysit it every 3 hours, it's like, okay, when do I start this thing so I can do that for a solid 12 hours? And anyhow, it's kind of cool. Let me see. Come on. If I could come up. Where are those? Come on.
Okay, here's a video.
Let's see if we can do this.
Tailings pool. So, the purpose of this would be so that we can reroute.
Yeah, it's hard to see it.
So, number one, typically we'll go inside of a bucket and not fill it up too much. Number two, number three, now could be separated from going to the actual tailings pond, and then.
I wonder if it's my thumb touching it apparently.
Overflow. That would I need actual tailings.
See, this is them rearranging the drains
for us to be able to put it onto the table.
At the Whiffley tables.
And then we have a clean way of having it completely sealed to where we can clean it out, make sure we always get all the sulfides and all the good material put back onto the table for a second pass or even a third pass or a fourth.
So that's the kind of stuff that I've been operating on and trying to help out with. And the little iPad has come in very handy. Also, it's interesting when you got enough bandwidth, what you can do. So anyhow, that's kind of the situation. Those tables produce a high gold concentrate, which is hand pan to pretty good quality gold and then smelted. And then they're also producing a high sulfide concentrate, which is what we're working on the leaching system for. And there are some things I can't even test here because, for example, they have that small ball mill, which is perfectly adequate for the amount of concentrates they're making. But I don't have anything equivalent over here that I can take the same test material and grind it up super fine, which is what they're doing. So I have questions like, well, should I do the fine grinding before or after the hydrogen peroxide reaction? I don't know. I can think of reasons why it could work better one way or the other way. It all depends on factors which I don't just know. I simply have to test. So I say that's frustrating. They're basically going to have to do the testing down there and kind of evaluate it by how it goes. If they had a furnace and some cupels and crucibles and the right stuff, then they could fire assay the resin, which would help there. Nope, no boilers, Greg. All they have is jaw crusher, hammer mill, ball mill, whiffly tables, and that's about it. And they've got some very fine gold associated with those sulfides. Maybe all we really need to do is just super fine grind the sulfide cons. That should certainly help. But what does the hydrogen peroxide do, and how? Because I reached in my testing a level of hydrogen peroxide addition that actually started becoming counterproductive. I was getting less gold the more hydrogen peroxide I used before I did the what do you call it? Dissolution with the Eco Goldex. I agree, Greg. I don't have anything there to roast with either. No dump truck. Well, they've got equipment they rent when they need to move some heavy earth moving or whatever. They rent a big excavator and they rent the dump trucks and stuff like that. But most of the mining is done by hand with demolition hammers underground, and then it's put in sacks and hauled out in sacks. And they're looking at a production in excess of 6 tons a day. And they believe that it, with a few working areas and stuff, a reasonable number of them, they could get 10 tons a day production. That's kind of the goal, is they'd like to have 10 tons a day of production at better than 10 grams per ton. Who's this? Ah, there he is. Hey, Jared, what's up? Okay. When are you planning on getting back to the house today, and are you planning on firing up the stripping circuit then? Hello? Hello? He's at the mine. Reception just died. Hello? Are you still there? Okay, we'll see what happens. Yeah, typically they do not get reception out at the mine. By hand, yep. No, they're using electric demolition hammers right now. And there's no drilling and blasting, just demo hammers. And one of the biggest problems they've had in the past is that once they start hitting some high grade stuff, the miners go chasing it and turn it into unstable ground. So they're developing an incentive system that basically incentivizes them for doing what they're told and not going chasing stuff. Okay. That could happen, Greg. I suppose that's going to happen to me in the not too distant future. Hey, Jared. You planning on doing stripping later tonight? And when do you think you're going to start it up? Okay. Uh-huh. Okay, I'll be here. I just wondered when you were thinking about starting it up. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right. Right. Yeah. After you've done the hydrogen peroxide reaction, yeah, you can add the Eco Gold X solution to bring it up to the standard 3-to-1 solid liquid ratio with the Eco Gold X solution you've currently got on hand. Yep. Okay. Well, how much weight do you have in solids? Bad perception. I hate that. Well, it depends on how hard your rock is, Greg. If you have a hard, tough rock, the Sierra Blaster makes a lot of sense. If you have a softer rock that is amenable to a demolition hammer, then I don't know how to do it on speaker air. Hey, Jared. Okay. How much weight of solids do you have? 25 kilograms like before? Hello. Can you hear me now? No. If you have rock that's real amenable to a demolition hammer, oh yeah, vastly faster than the Sierra Blaster. Once it gets to a certain critical toughness, then it makes a different story. Hello. Okay. Right. So you want to add to that a total 25 times 3, 75 liters of liquid between the hydrogen peroxide you put in and then the additional used Eco Gold X solution. Okay. And for right now, we'll just do the Eco Gold X the same, even though it may be a lot more than we need, because there's some theoretically left from the last batch in there. But until we get the titration figured out, we won't know how much to add, but a little extra doesn't seem to hurt. Okay. Correct. Okie dokie. Sounds like a plan. Then call me at your house when you're ready to start putting the stripping circuit together, but before you've done anything. Okay? All righty. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye. An umbrella hook scaling air hammer. I think I know what you're talking about. They're kind of long and skinny sort of thing. And it works fine if you got air. They don't have compressed air rigged in this mine at this time. I wouldn't doubt that you can blast off to rock with a Sierra Blaster, but why would you? You know, if you're moving 3 tons an hour with one person, drilling little holes and putting things in and then going back and shooting, it's like, yeah. Yeah, I think I know exactly what you're talking about, Brian. Lauren has one. The Sierra Blaster works fine in hard rock. I can bust rock with with my Hilti demo hammer 10 times faster than a Sierra Blaster if it's reasonable rock, you know. But once it gets to a certain hardness, it slows down kind of exponentially. But I mean, I can literally, 10 pounds, 10 pounds, 10 pounds, that fast. Okay. I can break a lot of rock in a hurry if it is reasonable. I say, then there's other stuff where it's no, don't see anything change. You know, that's when you get out the Sierra Blaster. And so it all depends on the rock as to what makes sense. I haven't been there, so I don't have personal experience, but as I understand, most of the rock breaks up reasonably well with a demo hammer. And there's other stuff that doesn't. And forget the name of that system. No stem, I think it was. Was it no stem? Auto stem cartridges. Yeah. The auto stem system has a lot larger cartridges than a Sierra Blaster. It's not a 2-part foam. It's a cartridge, but I mean, they make them up to this big. You know, drill a hole, stick it in, boom. You know, but that I've used the Sierra Blaster. It works. There's something I really hate about the Sierra Blaster, and that is it's so easy to cut the wire with the stemming bar. It's not funny. That groove that they have in there to put the wire needs to be a lot deeper. Okay? Because there's been so many times I have broken that wire just putting the blasting head in. You know? Generally what I do now with the Sierra Blasters is something a little different, but I'm not going to describe it where I'm being recorded. But it works a little easier than that. But yeah, packing clay will work. But I say it's just really annoying when you're trying to slide that thing in there and it cuts your cartridge wire. And That's just really, really annoying. So I avoid that part of the operation when I can. Say the auto stem cartridges, they're everywhere from little things like this all the way up to big cartridges where you can really do some blasting. Um, so say we looked at that. One of the problems in Nicaragua is that the regulations are a bit different down there. Explosives are handled a lot differently down there, you know? And, well, if you put tape over the groove, then it won't fit in the hole. See what I mean? I mean, it's so tight that it catches the wire between the metal and the side of the hole. Now, if you could fit some tape there, you'd have enough room. It's possibly, I came up with a method that's like, this works easy enough. I say I won't describe it for liability reasons, but I say the cartridges work fine, the boosters work fine. Could be. I don't know because I haven't checked it out. Is the Rock Popper the new version of the Sierra Blaster? You know. Yeah, David, if I took a piece of electrical tape and put it over that groove, it would no longer fit in the hole drilled. I mean, that's the problem. There's no room. And that is the problem. So, as I just, I haven't been having to do work down there at Montana B for a while. I don't even think we did any mining there last season. We did a lot of exploration, but I don't remember mining. And so it just sat there. But Sierra Blaster has been extremely helpful in the really difficult situations. But I mean, that's when I'm getting rock where I'm burning up. I'm having to resharpen the masonry bits every 3 inches. And that's cooling it, only running it 10 seconds at a time. That's how hard the rock is. When it's easy to get in, when you can drill it relatively easy, I can break it pretty easy with that Hilti. So that's to me, the Sierra Blaster is a useful tool when the other one hits the kryptonite wall. Rubies, that's got to be pretty abrasive. Oh, goodness. But yeah, it's if you got reasonable rock, the demo hammer works fine. It also works good on caliche and stuff like that. I'm not impressed with Harbor Freight demo hammers. Not hugely impressed with Bosch. But I'm quite impressed with the Hilti. The amount of damage you do versus the amount of vibration that beats you up, had no comparison. That Hilti, once you've used one, you don't ever want to go back because it just, that active vibration reduction really frickin' works. It really does. But yeah. Any other questions? Anything like that? Just curious. It's going to be, I'm sure, by the time he gets back to the house and everything, he's probably going to want to eat first too. So it's going to be an hour or more before he gets back there. Did Ryan ever make it to work?
Yes, Yes, he did.
Okay, Ryan made it safely to work. Oh, so that's a big stress over it because he's got enough supplies there. He can just stay there until the roads are in good shape again. He's got, what did it say, three days worth of supplies, something like that at the office, little one.
Yeah.
Yeah, got 3 days worth of supplies at the office just in case.
And he had a go bag in his car.
Yeah, and plus his go bag in the car. So yeah, I say he's pretty well prepared. And Eva's situation, she seems to be doing okay most of the time. Occasionally she's throwing up for no real discernible reason. So I say she's doing okay. 3 months in Pennsylvania in the winter. What was it? Was it cold or was it snow or combination? It's been really warm here, but I mean, I think it gets a lot colder here in Montana than it does in Pennsylvania. I don't think they get down to 25, 30 below zero just about every winter. This one hadn't even got close yet. I think the lowest I've seen is 2 below zero. And of course, that was the morning I had to get up and get out there early to do the testing to figure out how to put in the icy and snow and yeah, rivers frozen. Yeah, well, our rivers freeze here too. It's just the way it is. Yeah, it's been a really just astonishingly mild winter so far. It has been.
It's messed up the elk migration patterns.
It's messed up the elk migration patterns?
Yep.
What, they're staying higher up?
No, they came down. They went higher up, but it was too. But they came back down because it was so mild.
Huh. Weird.
So now they're down low places that are overrun with elk, which is a problem I'd love to have if I had a hunting license.
Yeah, Brian, that would work fine. It seems to me that I say there's a lot of people have figured out a lot of ways of doing it besides the way the manufacturer recommends. I can understand why the manufacturer recommends it. Hey, honey bunny. Well, I hope you start feeling better. You take care of yourself with that pneumonia. That's not good stuff. So be careful. Yeah, I'm kind of worried about that here too, Michael. Hi, Urban Prospecting. The lack of precipitation combined with warm temperatures is a little bit concerning it now. If it got a lot of precipitation and warm temperatures, that might be even worse. Build up fuel loads. Then if it dries out, you're screwed.
Well, it can also mess up spring planting if it's too wet.
Yeah. Well, we're mainly talking fire risk here, I believe.
I'm worried about our spring planting.
I don't know. Most of the stuff around here is done with irrigation, so it's not as critical. Up north, around Great Falls and stuff like that, there's not nearly as much irrigation. It's natural rainfall, so that would drive me crazy as a farmer. I just would hate to rely on Mother Nature. Sometimes Mother Nature is a bitch, So that's kind of the situation so far. And hopefully by next week, I'll be able to tell you, oh man, we got that resin and pulp working just great. Yeah. So anyhow, hopefully we'll have that whooped into shape by my next live stream there, and that would be good because then they'd have another income stream, which would be very helpful for them. Because that's be what is it? 3 times? I think it's about 150 now. Yeah, $500. Yep. How well does black powder work for popping stuff, Brian? Greg Williams wishes you getting well, little one. You could even use just that, instead of pottery clay, just that craft clay sort of stuff, the stuff that you just use for fun. But yeah. Anyhow, I don't see anything else exciting here. What's the prices of the metals right now? Boy, that shows you what's been going on. I haven't even been paying attention. Silver's at 86.5. Gold's at 5,200 basically. So they're coming back. Yep. Anyhow, nobody else has got any other subjects or whatever they need to ask questions on or whatever. I guess we can probably call it a night. And thank you all for showing up. I appreciate it. And okay, a 1/2-inch paper straw. I suppose they probably do somewhere. I've never seen a 1/2-inch paper straw. Okay, everybody, let's call it a night here and get going. Happy prospecting and keep it safe out there. Let's see. In stream.